This is a UORLEN power supply, which is a battery elimination kit for the Sony Alpha line. Now, each of these kits comes with a battery blank that's going to fit the specific camera model. And so in this case, this is the blank I got. And if you look at it, it basically has the same form factor as your battery from your camera, except instead of having a battery in it, it's just a cable that plugs into this power supply. And the power supply provides DC voltage to your camera, so you can run it continuously off of mains power supply. Now, this guy here says it's outputting 7.6 volts at 2 amps. My battery here says it's an 8.2 volt battery. So the voltage here is a little lower than the battery, but there's probably a range that these cameras can operate in. Now, you would do this if you wanted to use a camera like this as a webcam, a permanent setup in a studio for, if you have a studio where you're always taking pictures of something on a table, for example. Or in my case, I use this for astrophotography. I'm going to have it mounted to a telescope, and I might want to take pictures for more than the 90 minutes to 2 hours that the one battery would last. And so it's going to be operated under computer control, and I like to have it just powered the whole time. So, before I put this $25 price point battery eliminator into my expensive camera body, we are going to test that the voltage coming out of this is close to what they claim it is. I'll also test this battery here to see what it puts out. I have made myself some kind of janky needle adapters for my multimeter probe here, because it's a relatively small thing I need to get into to measure here. So this is the official Sony battery at 8.21 volts. And this is the battery eliminator plug, and it's 7.99 volts. So that is less voltage than the official battery puts out, but it's well within the range where the camera should work, and it's also low enough that I'm not worried about it hurting my camera. So the dummy battery inserts just like a normal battery. Just make sure that the contacts are on the correct size. Now it has this cable that comes out of it, and you need to route that, and there is a convenient hole with a panel that pops out. So you just lift that little panel out, it's held in by a piece of plastic, route this cable through that hole, like so, and you can latch your camera shut as normal with the cable coming out of that hole. And then, when you turn on your camera, it is operating off of the battery here, and it will operate continuously as long as you have this guy plugged into the mains. Alright, so you have about 4 feet of cable between this box and your power outlet, and then about 6 feet of cable until it hits the adapter here that goes to the specific dummy battery for your camera, and then another 3 or so feet of cable there. So you have a pretty decent reach here, and if you need more than that, you just have to supply your own extension cord. Now it does also come with a nice little Velcro holdy thing that you can use to organize all these cables after you've been using them. And despite the voltage being slightly lower, you can see your camera here reports 100% power. So switching back to battery powered mobile use is just basically the same as removing a battery, putting the battery back in, and then you do have to tuck this guy back into its little hole there, and then you're ready to go battery powered again. So for $23, if you're using a Sony camera in a fixed location for more than an hour, this really is a no-brainer as something that's really going to make your life easier. The only thing for me, I'm using it with astronomy, so I'm probably going to put a piece of black tape over this green or this blue light, just so that I don't have stray light all over the place. And it comes with the US cord set, but if you were going to a foreign country, this is a very standard setup, so you could just swap out this cord and use it in any foreign power supply. It is a 100 to 240 volt 50-60 hertz universal power adapter.